ran into him at Mysticon about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was the first con he'd been back to. He had just gotten back onto the circuit. And I ran into him. I was so thrilled to see him. He used to describe himself to people as that, I'm the guy that's usually sleeping on Mike's couch. I ran into him and I told him about Ravencon. He said he'd heard about it. So you got to come. He showed up at Ravencon. I got to hang out with him a little bit. And Saturday night, he had gone to the parties, and I ran into him around 1 in the morning. And he looked at me and said, "Man, I don't know how you do it. Still going. We're getting old, man." I said, "Yeah, but it's still fun." I said, "How's it been?" He said, "Oh, I'm having a blast." And the next morning, he was found dead in his hotel room. He had a massive stroke and just collapsed. He was dead before he hit the ground. And I found out about this when the police came to ConOps and asked, "Do you have any information about badge number?" And I pulled it up, and it's my old friend. I'm like, "Oh, what has Brian done now?" And they said they told me what happened, and it was just one of the most earth-shattering moments in not just in the history of the convention, but in my whole life. It was just it was horrible. And then a couple of years later, my vice chair, John Jones, 2 months before the convention, just suddenly he wasn't feeling well. He drove himself to the hospital and collapsed when he got there, and they couldn't revive him. So there have been some definite down times. We've had 3 staff members, starting from John. We've had 3 staff members pass away in the last 2 years. I've never heard of any convention having that kind of attrition rate. It's just mentally exhausting going through something like that. Plus, 3 good friends. Bud Webster, his wife Mary, and another old friend who was a regular attendee of the convention. All passed away last year. And then another staff member, Bob Ellis, passed away over the summer. And Ed Pope. And you get, when you are running something like this, you become very, very close with the people that you're working with, because you depend on them for so much. And you're living in each other's pockets. And then when something like that happens, it's like losing a family member. It's really rough. So those have been the down times.
As you remarked that the attrition rate is sort of unprecedented.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because there's a part of me that wonders if there's a relation between.
Oh, I wonder that too. Yeah.
It's unprecedented in a sense because most con groups don't hang together so long. So the longer a family hangs together, the actuarial folks tell us, being together, all that good comes with
statistically,
with something on the back end.
But
again, a testimony to the fact that it does hang together. It is, and a testimony to something else too. The number of people who, because I don't interview much anymore, but I did for a time when I was in television. And things like this, usually what you hear when talking at a bar or something like this, is you hear, "Oh, I got to tell you this story about such and such." You say, "No, I don't want to know any names," and then they tell you the name anyway. It's like, "Oh God, brain bleed, please." Yeah. But it's interesting because they're usually telling you stories about what would have to do with the actual running of a con, or the personalities, or all of those sort of things.
I got those stories too.
Oh well, so if we want to shift a little bit.
Oh well, I could talk about TaserCon.
You could talk about TaserCon.
That was. It was either Ravencon 3 or 4. Okay. We were at our second hotel, and at 4 in the morning, I get a phone call from Lee Gilliland, who says, "Mike, we need you down in the lobby right now. There's a problem." So I get down there, and Lee and my guest liaison, Crystal Ritchie, are both down there. And there is a drunk sitting on the couch. And he wants to leave, and he's in no shape to leave. So I go over and I talk to him, and I said, "Look, I don't want to cause any trouble here. He's a big guy too. I just want to make sure that, nothing bad happens. Could I have your keys? We don't want you going anywhere. He gave me his keys. I took the keys to the front desk. I said, hold these. And I told him, I said, when he is sober enough, you can give him his keys back and he can go home. It seemed like, the right way to handle it. Didn't want to get anyone in trouble. Seemed responsible enough. And he looked at me and he said, okay, can I make one phone call first? I said, yeah, absolutely. He pulls out his phone and he dials information. He says, can I have the number for the suicide prevention line? And one part of me is thinking, oh crap, and the other part of me is thinking, well, this is out of my hands now at least. So I go back to the front desk and I say, call the cops. He's acting suicidal. I want to make sure this is taken care of. So we're watching him the entire time. He goes outside and he's standing by his car. We still have his keys, so he can't go anywhere. And the police show up. And they're talking with him, and he's being reasonable. He's not a belligerent drunk. He's just kind of a tipsy drunk. He's not problematic. And we're watching him talking with the cops, and they go to put him in the squad car. They've cuffed him at this point, and they're lowering him into the squad car. And they got the hand on the shoulder, one hand on the head. They're lowering him in, and he slips out, and he just bolts up, and he starts running around. And the police pull out the taser, and they put him down. And he gets up and does it again. Like I said, he was a big guy. I found out later he was on antidepressants, and whatever he was drinking did not react well with the antidepressants. And literally, this scene plays itself out half a dozen times. They put him on the ground, talk him through it, and eventually he gets back up again. They try to put him in the car, and he flips out, and they tase him every single time. At one point, the highlight of the thing is watching the cop standing over him and saying, son, I can do this all night long. Crystal was counting. She said that he got tased 11 times that night. Eventually, they called an ambulance and strapped him in and took him in for psychiatric evaluation.
That seems warranted.
Yeah. When you see someone get tased 11 times, and this all happened at 4 a.m, so nobody knew about it. This happened behind the scenes. But it was a weird thing to watch. You hear the con stories, and that's the kind of con story that you usually hear people talking about.
Yes,
yeah,
it's that sort.
Yeah.
So, weirdest moment, weirdest thing, it's surreal.
Well, the year the hotel got struck by lightning, I thought was pretty big.
Okay.
That was a fun one. This was back at our last hotel, and it's right before opening ceremonies, and the fire alarm goes off, and the hotel starts evacuating everyone outside. And I go find out what's going on. Is this a drill? Has it gone off? And I'm told that sensors say that it's gone off because lightning has struck it. And they're following standard fire alarm procedures and taking everybody outside. However, because the reason the lightning struck the building is because there is a tornado watch in the area, and it's starting to hail outside. So I gather everyone inside and say, nobody go outside. And the hotel has gathered everyone out in the lobby, which is all windows.
Right.
So like everybody into an interior room where glass isn't going to rain down and kill people. And we will wait this out. And by this time the alarm has gone off, or has stopped going off. And then the alarm goes off again. Apparently at this point, when we find out later someone is evacuating down the stairs, and a lot of con people are like, some of us aren't that mobile, and someone's walking down the stairs and they lean on something for support. It happened to be the alarm. It's the wheel of a fire hose.
Okay.
Or one of the water mains. Mm-hmm. And literally, a quarter of an inch movement on that triggers the alarm. So that started the fire alarm going again. And of course, Ed Beard was our guest of honor again that year. He had his specially painted, customized Dragon Band that year. So he's got it parked under the awning in front of the hotel. And every time the alarm goes off, the fire trucks show up. So they force him to move his car. And he doesn't want to move this beautiful, valuable, gorgeous van out into the hailstorm. So luckily we get a quick break in the hail, and there's a Sonic a block away that he's able to move it to because they got the awnings over there. But yeah, that night our hotel made it on CNN. You know, Virginia hotel struck by lightning. I don't think they mentioned the convention, but they did mention the hotel.
Darn it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, that was a weird